Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Rapid City Planning Commission meeting for September 26th, 2024. If any member of the audience wishes to speak to an item on the Planning Commission agenda, there are speaker request forms on the table along the left wall. Please fill out the request with the agenda number of the item you wish to speak to and hand it to the staff seated over on the left side of the room. At this time, we would also like to ask that if any member of the audience has a cell phone or other electronic device, that you either turn it off or turn the ringer to silent. If you need to take a call, please step out to the hallway so the meeting is not disrupted. Items 1 through 4 have been placed on the consent calendar today and may be approved as a group. Action will be taken on all consent items in accordance with staff's recommendation by a single vote. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar by any planning commissioner, staff member, or audience member for separate consideration at this time. The findings of this planning commission are recommendations to the city council. The city council will make the final decision. Are there any items 1 through 4 that staff would like removed for separate consideration?
No, thank you.
Are there any items 1 through 4 that any planning commissioner would like removed for separate consideration? And are there any items 1 through 4 that any audience member would like removed for separate consideration at this time? The chair would then entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 4 in accordance with staff's recommendation.
Motion to approve items 1 through 4 in accordance with the staff's recommendations.
All right, Vince made the motion and Brooke seconded that motion. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5.
So item number 5 is a final plan development overlay to allow a mobile home residential development on 851 East New York Street. So the applicant is planning to redevelop this park for a maximum of 64 mobile home spaces. The property is zoned medium density residential district. The future land use is urban neighborhood. The property is located north of Highway 44, which is classified as a principal arterial street on the city's major street plan. So this is the proposed site plan that was submitted by the applicant. The applicant is requesting an exception to reduce the parking requirement from 144 parking spaces down to 60 parking spaces and to allow 74 angled parking spaces within the city right-of-way on East New York Street and on East Chicago Street. The applicant is also requesting an exception to reduce the property line setbacks from 35 feet down to 10 feet along all street frontages. So staff is recommending that these exceptions be denied, that the required parking be provided within the confines of the property lines, and then a minimum 20-foot setback be maintained to allow room for that required parking. So this is a landscaping plan that was submitted by the applicant. He's planning to plant 45 new small trees along the perimeter of the development. He also has requested an exception to admit the one on-site management officer required with this park and to allow a shared management office with the 1515 East St. Patrick Street. So staff is also recommending that this exception be denied. The existing management office off of St. Patrick Street is nearly 2 miles away from this redevelopment. And if shared between both communities, it would serve 166 mobile homes. So staff is recommending that a management office with this redevelopment be provided within the confines of the property lines as well. So this is the proposed lot layout. The applicant has requested another exception to increase the lot coverage from 30% up to 38%. To date, a storm drainage report has yet to be provided, and staff cannot evaluate the storm runoff impacts of an increased lot coverage. So for this reason, staff is also recommending that this increased lot coverage be denied. So these are renderings of the 2 mobile home styles that are being proposed. These mobile homes are going to be 1 story in height. And then these are the floor plans for those mobile home renderings. These are going to be 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom units. And then on to site photos. Public notice was posted on the property. This is looking south along North Cherry Avenue, looking south along Pine Street. This is looking west along East Chicago Street. So this is an 80-foot wide right-of-way. And you can see there's a 20-foot wide strip of pavement adjacent to the park there. That's where the applicant plans to have the angled parking spaces. But those parking spaces would have to back into the right-of-way if approved, and would cause us a safety concern. So we got the same situation on East New York Street. So this is looking west down that street. Again, this is an 80-foot wide right-of-way, and we got that 20-foot wide strip of pavement where the applicant plans to park the mobile homes on the perimeter of this development. And then this is looking down the private internal road that runs down the center of the park. So this is a private road that's going to access about half of the mobile homes that are going to be proposed. So with that, staff is recommending that this application be denied, and I'll stand by for any questions.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Yeah, Vicky?
So first, we've worked with others in the past that have looked at redeveloping this mobile home park. And it's something that's needed. It's an aging mobile home park, and we're excited that someone wants to come and refurbish this park. Currently, it is designed, as are most mobile home parks, with single-wide mobile homes. And if we go to the site plan layout, what they are proposing are double wides. That's a unique feature, and a little harder to fit to get all of the other amenities on as well. In this case, when we look at that interior road, they've got less units along it, and it allows them a room on site to provide some on-site parking. Whereas those that are adjacent on the north and south side of the property, they're adding additional units and they're pushing that parking out into the street right-of-way. As you saw from the photos, that right-of-way currently does allow parallel parking, and you saw vehicles parallel parked. When you're in a residential area and we all park in the street, you merge out into the traffic, but to have 74 cars diagonally parked on a street and then you're backing into that right-of-way, it causes concern. In addition, it is the responsibility of the property owner to provide that on-site parking. We were open to compromise to see if they could reduce the number, get more on-site parking, see if some of the visitor parking couldn't be used, the right-of-way couldn't be used for some of the visitor parking, but they wanted it to just be brought forward as presented. We also visited with them about staggering the design so they can push those mobile homes back and forth to allow a 20-foot setback in the front of them, and then they would have quite a bit of room on-site to provide on-site parking. But again, and that would be a compromise. So instead of reducing the setback from 35 to 10, it would be from 35 to 20. But again, the applicant said, nope, we just want to present it as proposed and see what the decision is. So with that, we just couldn't get behind it, even though we are excited to work with them if we could meet some of these design challenges. To have a refurbished mobile home park in this area would be a great benefit to the community.
Thank you. One quick question is looking at this site plan. The current internal road appears to be, am I wrong? I think it's currently wider than 26 feet, is it not? Or is it 26 currently?
That's what is shown on the site plan as 26.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the commission on this? Karen?
When I looked at this at home and looked at all the issues that we're dealing with on this property, first, I agree that it would be wonderful to have the improvements in this park and get some double wides. That would just make the park look better. But there are so many issues that we would have to agree to, to do, and none of those make any sense to me. We need more parking. We don't want anybody down the road to be in danger. Having all those trailers that close together and they're double wide, aesthetically, it's got to be not pleasing. But we need to have the site manager on site. I believe that's important. There's just so many things that I just cannot get behind this. I think the applicant should go back and work with the staff and see if they can't come up with some compromises, come up with something that makes sense that I think we as a planning commission feel comfortable supporting. If you support something like this the way it is, that's just going backwards, I think. So I won't be able to support this.
Thanks, Karen. Eric Hikas?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd be willing to make a motion to deny with staff recommendations. For the very reasons Karen mentioned, there are just too many issues with this plan as currently submitted. It's just too much to get behind. That's my motion.
All right, is there a second to that? All right, Karen seconded that motion to deny. Any comments on the motion? Vince?
No, I agree that, that the staff has tried to work with the applicant in order to make certain accommodations, but all of them cannot be met. It's clear. For full disclosure, I mean, I work for Green Tree Financial, to sell for home loans like this, and it would be, we'd love to increase the amount of homes that people can own. But yes, I'm going to have to agree with both Karen and Eric at this time.
All right, any other comments on the motion? All right, all those in favor of denial, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item is denied. Item number 6.
Good morning, Commission. Cassie Hayes. Item 6 before you is a conditional use permit to allow an oversized garage at 1144 Pine Hills Drive. This is located in a low-density residential 1 district. Future land use of this property is low-density neighborhood, and access to this property is off of Pine Hills Drive, which connects to Sturgis Road at both its northern and southern terminus. So what the applicant is proposing here, this is currently a almost 3-acre piece of property. Currently contains a 960 square foot single family dwelling and an 864 square foot 3-car garage, as you can see on the site plan here. What he is proposing to do is add an 18 foot by 20 foot storage shed. That storage shed would be used for things like tools, lawn mowers, bicycles, personal items along those lines. The reason that he is having to request this conditional use permit is within the zoning ordinance. It does say that the building footprint of all structures that are devoted to storage or parking or an accessory use on a property cannot exceed the footprint of the single family dwelling. So with his single family dwelling being 960 square feet, his garage and the proposed shed as it exists now will exceed that footprint by about 264 square feet. And that's why he's bringing forward this conditional use permit. He has submitted a statement of intent and some construction drawings that will show that this will be constructed with a single stall garage door, will be constructed to match the single family dwelling as it is required. It will not be used for commercial purposes or as a second residence. The building official did comment that this shed needs to be constructed with a concrete or an asphalt floor, so that has been included as a stipulation if this conditional use permit is approved. As you saw on the site plan, he's proposing to construct this directly to this is not north, is actually to your left as you're looking at this. So he's proposing to construct this what would be directly east of an existing concrete pad on his property. There are several properties within the Pine Hill subdivision that do have accessory structures similar to this, so this is not outside the norm for this subdivision. Also, the location of this shed is well recessed behind his house. There is also quite a bit of mature, natural landscaping features that will also help to screen and buffer the view of this storage shed from some of the neighboring properties. So this is a little bit more of a scale drawing of what his proposed shed will look like. As you can see, there's that one stall garage door. This is the left side and the right side. No windows or doors on either of those sides. Here's a site photo of the property. So the shed will be located behind where you can see the camper there. It's going to be located approximately 47 feet behind that. This is the other side of his residence, which shows the mature landscaping that surrounds that area. This would be looking north along Pine Hills Drive, and this is looking south along Pine Hills Drive. So ultimately, staff is recommending approval of the conditional use permit to allow the oversized garage, and there are 2 stipulations attached to that. I'll stand for any questions, and the applicant is here also if you have any questions.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, Vicky?
just to add on to that, so while there is a garage door being proposed, the applicant did indicate that primarily that would be used to park the riding lawnmower. I think we can all appreciate trying to get those in and out of sheds. If they should at some point want to store a vehicle there, they would use the existing approach. And in past oversized garages, that's been an issue we brought to your attention, but it does align that the existing driveway and access could serve to access that for vehicular access as well.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the commission on this one? Comments? I'm familiar with this neighborhood, and I personally, the lot size is big enough that there's no red flags for me here. This seems like a great use of a property. Brooke?
Yeah, I feel like we should drag it out, but I would say a motion to approve with staff stipulations.
All right, Brooke made the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Vince seconded that motion. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that takes us to the end of the regular agenda. Anything to add, Vicki?
I just wanted to comment that for the past 2 days, many of the staff members in community development joined our consulting company, Logan Simpson, at the Dahl Art Center, and a update to the comprehensive plan event was hosted. We had it posted as a root beer social for family and friends to come together and participate in the direction the city should be moving towards as our community moves forward. It was a huge success. We had a great turnout the first evening, not quite as heavy the following day, but we did capture a lot of data, and it was really a fun event. Just seeing the range of individuals that came. We had a kids' corner, so a lot of families showed up. The kids were really enjoying the event, and that allowed the families then the adults to stay and visit more with us and get down to business on working with all of the data center capturing stations that we had set up. So we will also have a booth over at the Pumpkin Fest that's taking place Saturday at Main Street Square. And Brooke, could you share with us what the hours are for that event?
You, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So if you're out and about and you would like to stop in, we'd love to see you there. It'll be fun. It's fun for all ages, but if you do make it, stop by our booth. We'll have you fill out a survey. I don't know that we've got that captured from all of you yet. So just overall, it was probably one of the best held and attended open houses in my time here at the city.
That's awesome. We have to remember the root beer social part then for future things. Vince?
Thank you, Chair. No, I attended the second day at noon, so it may not have had as many people, but the folks that were there seemed to be engaged, and your staff was doing that. You know, they were answering questions. It was fun. Yeah, and I did see the kids area with the Legos, so it was. I think it's a fun event for anyone who's interested in learning more, or even offering information. So the Post-its will work. I'm not quite sure how the jelly beans are going to work, though. You know, I'm curious, but I hope that works out as well.
All right, anything from the commission? All right, Mike Gallagher made the motion to adjourn. Vince seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.